Okay, what I thought I'd show you is some of the guides that I use to help with identifying and pricing and all that sort of stuff, Star Wars collectibles. So this is Star Wars Collectibles, House of Collectibles price guide. It's a bit out of date, it's about 10 years, if not more, out of date, but this was one of the first books that I acquired. The first one I got was half of this was Star Wars and Star Trek. Now they just split it into Star Wars. This one came out in 1997, so it's 13 years out of date, but it's still quite useful. I mean, back in the early days it was good for looking at what sort of figures were available. It was good, gave me a lot of good information, of good background knowledge of what I could eventually acquire and not acquire but know about. So this is the section about the loose figures. Then you've got some carded figures. You've got a picture of an Empire Strikes Back TIE Fighter pilot, a Brazilian C-3PO, and a Mexican Ewok, which is very rare. I mean, I saw one Mexican figure in England at a convention. They wanted 500 quid for that, so it just shows you how expensive they are over in here. But this is a really good book. Bit out of date, but still it's a good starting point. You could probably pick it up second hand, at a flea market maybe. The third edition was the one I had before this, and that's the one, I don't know where it is, I can't find it, but it's that's the one that really kicked me off into Star Wars collecting. Star Wars toothbrush there. So let's just quickly flip through it. R2-D2 game, modern electronic games, role-playing games. What else? There's so much that you can collect. Some colour pictures now. Most of this book is in black and white. It's American, so all the prices are in dollars. And overall it's quite a good starting point. It's got lots of variety. It's got magazines, it's got books, it's got toys, it's got model kits, it's got whatever you can imagine that's been put out in terms of Star Wars merchandise. It's there, banners, paper plates, fan club merchandise. Overall it's a really good book, even though it's a bit out of date. Die-cast stuff, TIE bomber there, laser guns, trading cards. So Collectibles from a Galaxy Far Far Away, and it's by the staff of Beckett Hot Toys. Again, this is about 10 years old, if not slightly more. Colour pictures in this, but it's just lacks depth in this book. It just has a few items per page, but it's still useful. A bit out of date now. So this is the Beckett book from about 98-99, yak face there. It has a lot of lists, not necessarily any prices. Trading cards, still useful to have. It cost $25 back in 1990. Now if you're into European Star Wars stuff, this is a really good book. It's by a French guy called Stéphane Fourcault, and this book cost about 15 quid. I got it at the 2007 Star Wars celebration in Europe, in London, and it's signed. It says, "To me, I want your Chewbacca," because I've got that figure on a Return of the Jedi cards, which he hasn't got. I told him to write that in there. And his book's from Meccano to Trilogo, so it deals with the French cards, which are quite unique, plus it goes on to the Trilogo section, and it's really, if you're into European cards, it's really quite excellent. So you've got the Meccano section first, the French Meccano square cards. These are the first ones, so these are like regular 12-back cards. I've got that French Princess Leia. And then it moves on to the French square cards, and then the Jawa is very common. That's the most common one. You often see that coming up for sale. And what he's done on this is he's put a rarity factor, so the little numbers at the in the corner of the card, that shows you how rare they are, 5 being the rarest, 1 being the most common. But I think he's done that only in the French market. He hasn't dealt with the Palitoy cards, or the German cards, or the Dutch cards, or the Spanish cards. It just deals with the French cards plus the Trilogo cards, which he, according to him, was sold first in France. And then we got the Return of the Jedi French cards, which are commanding a lot of money when they come up to sale on the eBay. I've got that Chewbacca there, and that's quite rare, supposedly. Then we come on to the Trilogo cards, all the different variations. And this book's just excellent. If you're into Trilogo cards, I can't recommend this any more. Hoth Rescue there. This is really, at the moment, the most comprehensive book on French cards and Trilogos. You can't really go wrong with this. So I highly recommend it. Cost about £15. Not bad. And it's really interesting. I mean, there's not much French stuff out there, but this is just interesting. And you've got a list at the back of what cards were available with what bubbles and all that sort of stuff, if you're into all that. So, excellent book. And it's got the price there in European euros, €25.